Good afternoon, everyone. I am getting ready to make a wonderful product. It is called Shower Moisturizing Lotion. And I think they got some on the market. But what you do is after you take a shower and you're still in the shower and your body is wet, you take and you slather your whole body with the lotion, and then you take the water and you just rinse it off and get out. That way you're not sitting there waiting for your lotion to soak in before you can get dressed. But on the other hand, you can also use this product. I don't know about the ones that are out there on the market that's commercial, but you can also just not rinse it off. And it's pretty light oil or lotion, and you can get out and just pat dry and away you go. So I think that's a pretty neat little way to moisturize your skin, especially through the winter. And today I am going to make vanilla spice, and it's a really wonderful scent that I kind of made up using how I like to mix different fragrances. And this one was with vanilla musk and Caradine. What was the spice? I didn't even write it down. I forget. Caradine teakwood, I think. And they're both from Nature's Garden. But with the mixture together, it's awesome. So everything has been prepped, sanitized, and this is my 91% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, if you want to name that. And I measured out all of my things, and before I did that, everything was sprayed, bleached, and then sprayed with the isopropyl alcohol, the dishes and stuff like that. And then over here, I don't know if you can see it, but on here, my bottles have been sprayed, and so has the pumps. So the first part of getting this together is I always put the alcohol on my hands and then on my gloves too. But we do not want little nasties getting in any of our lotions, anything that contains water. This is distilled water, and I had prepped it beforehand and then put it back in its container with the lid on it yesterday. So I brought it up and boiled it and then put it back in the bottle after it cooled down just a little bit. So that's what's in there. Now, the stearic acid I'm going to put right in the water. And this is my E-Wax, Emulsifying Wax, which is, I think, from Nature's Garden, and it's the silky one. You put that in there, too. And then we're going to go nuke it. And put it in the microwave. You could do it on top of the stove in a water bath, but I'm going to put this on until it is all melted. Then I'm going to take my oils, like my butters, and the harder oils, which this one's coconut oil, and then I have shea butter and cocoa butter over here. While it's hot, when I get it out of the microwave and all this is melted, the waxes and the stearic wax, then I will add the butters to it and stir it up until they melt, and then I will put my liquid oil in, which happens to be apricot kernel oil. So we're going to be using a thermometer, of course, and then I would put in, after it cools down to about 120, because I use Optifin, then I would put in the fragrance and the preservative. So, okay, I will bring you back. Okay, we are back. Get my hands. Okay. This is melted. Well, yeah. This is what it will look like. Now the next part is to add my butters and shea butter and cocoa butter. And as you see, it's hot enough, it will melt it. I just let it sit. Try to get the hard butters first. I don't know, some people make making lotion really, really hard. But I guess I'm old school, and this is what I was taught years and years ago about, you know, you want to make like mayonnaise. You use water and oil. And you have to have something that will bind it, which would be, I guess if you were making mayonnaise, it would be an egg. And then you blend it. And that's what you're doing with making lotion. So when this part is melted, then I will put in the coconut oil, which is, you know, at room temperature, 76 degrees. I think that's the one that I got. That's what you need, you know, to melt that. So I want the hard oils to be melted first. Right. Okay. Now we are going to put in the coconut oil. And it won't take very long at all for it to melt. And then we will put in the liquid oils. Then we'll get buzzing. One thing that I've learned over all these years of making different kinds of lotions and creams and things like that, it used to be, and I don't know what people do today, but they would blend and blend and blend with the stick blender, and you know, just wears out your stick blender. All you have to do is bring it up to, you know, emulsification, and after that it's just kind of watching your temperature. So turn it off, and I usually just stick it right in there, and then I set the timer for 10 minutes. Then I come back, take the temp, give it a little buzz, not very long, and then if the temperature's still up, I reset 10 minutes, and then I come back. You do not have to sit there and blend it, folks. So, now that the coconut oil is all melted, we will add one of my favorite oils, light oils, and that is apricot kernel oil. Since this is a rinse off or leave in, that's why I chose this one. Apricot kernel oil is luscious, but it doesn't cost a lot. So, there. And we're going to start our blending. And everything is sprayed, like I said, sanitized with bleach and then sprayed, and I keep spraying. It's one thing you don't want is some nasty bugs in there. And once I use Optifin because it is the most closest. They use, I think it's fruit in the pits, something about like that. But anyways, it does not throw formaldehyde and other ingredients like we talked about with commercial things. But once I get settled and I get another microscope and have a little bit of time, I'm going to check out some of the other good stuff that they have out there that's quite natural. I just don't trust it yet because I haven't used it and I haven't experimented. But I want proof, and so I will be doing some tests and seeing how well it holds and looking at it under a microscope. So here we go. I should have gotten a bigger bulb, but I don't have one that's glass. It's gonna go. See what I mean about same way if you're making soap, you want to bring it up to emulsification. No floating oils around, that's what I'm looking for. And guess what? That is it. I am going to leave that right in there, so I'm not trying to, you know, contaminate by taking it out and putting it on here, even though it's sanitized. You just, I don't know, I guess I'm just a germophobic. So, oops, I see a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that, but I can see a little bit of oil floating on top. Just want to bring it up. I don't want a lot of bubbles in there. More so, I'm not very good about it when I'm doing the soap, but it goes out, you guys. All right. So, I don't see any, so it's emulsified. And I'm not even going to worry about taking the temperature right now. I'm just going to set it for my timer for 10 minutes, and I will bring you back. Okay, 10 minutes are up. Let's spray my glove hands again. And see, I don't see any floating oils up on there, so I'm going to give it another little buzz. Make sure I don't. And now, just because I'm curious, I already sprayed my thermometer once before, but I like to try to spray it again. And we will check to see what it is. Really, I had to check it to see if it is above 120 or below. And right now, it is at 125, so that's good. Get something like that on, respray it. And the more that you buzz it, the temperature will go down. So, Tater, go on. You just want to keep it so that it is emulsified. That's all you're looking for. And your temperature. So, I am going to pause you for another 10 minutes. If I decide I'm going to bring you back before then it won't be 10 minutes. Okay, back 10 minutes. Let's take a temperature reading. And it is at 120. And that's what we need it to be. All right. So, time to add fragrance. And that smells good. Don't want the bubbles, and I'll mix it up a little bit more when I mix up the Optifin. Here's the preservative. You get every bit of that. Bubbles out of there. And it's going to turn it like a very light tan, which is fine because not only is it in the dark containers, but it just goes with the name, you know, vanilla spice. So I don't worry about that. And I don't add any colorant to it because I think it just looks good the way it is, natural, with the fragrance oil that changes it just a little. And that's all there is to it, folks. And now it's ready to pour, believe it or not. But you do not want to put the lid on. Let me mix it up just a little bit more. It looks like I got a little bit of oil from the fragrance. One thing nice about the Optifin is it also is an emulsifier. So like I was saying about making mayonnaise, and the egg being, you know, the one that brings the oil and water together, that holds it together, is the emulsifier. And here it is, of course, your stearic acid and your e-wax. Then with the Optifin, and not all preservatives do it, will help with the emulsification, holding it together. Smells very, very good. I made this. This is a special order, custom order. Every year we have in our family a very, very wonderful family friend I've known for many, many years. Is a retired colonel in the Army, and he always puts in an order for cabin fever soaps for the special women, moms, sisters, you know, childhood friends. Puts in an order for them, and what I love about it is he lets me decide what it is. So bless his heart. So this is why I'm making this. I'm doing, every year I try to do something different for the ladies and make up a really nice gift package for them. Do. Now if I can get this in range for you, and I have had this little funnel for years and years, and of course it is been sanitized too. Now watch me make a mess, you guys. I should that's what I was going to do, is I got this one. And it makes it easier for me to pour, so I'm going to take it over to the sink because I know I'm going to make a mess. Pour that in. So it might make it a little bit easier. See how it's setting up on the sides because it's cooling down? Yeah. Get all them goodies in there. And what's nice about it, when you set it for 10 minutes, you can be cleaning up or doing something else. You don't have to stand over it. I'm going to try to get these bubbles out. I hope you can see it. And of course, my daughter, Amanda, her and I get spoiled rotten because we're the guinea pigs, but this has been made time and time again. But every fall, when it starts getting cooler out and we get drier temperatures inside that dry out our skin, we have to moisturize. Okay, well, let's see if I don't make a mess. Oopsie, here we go with the mess. Yeah. Now, I hope this was an easy explanation for y'all. You know how I am. If there's an easy way and a better way, I'm going to try my best to do a teaching video. Oh! One thing about the black is I do not see. Alright, it's just going to make a mess. But we will clean it up. So I don't usually, I don't know if I've ever made video, get a little bit of air in there, making lotions or creams, because I am messy. Now, if you wanted to wait and make up, get out of there. A little thick piece that was cold and I scraped in there. What was I saying? Wait, oops. I can tell I'm getting old. I forget. Oh. If you wanted to make up a whole bunch at one time, which usually I do, and I don't add the fragrance to it, you can put it in Ziploc bags and mark it. And then when you get an order for a certain fragrance, then all you have to do is open up that bag and stir in your fragrance, or empty the bag, but I don't. I just stir it in, knead it, and just look at it and make sure that it's very well incorporated. And then you just nick the bottom, and because it's going to be thick because it's cold, and then just squeeze it in the bottles. It's kind of a less messy thing, I think. But for demonstration purposes and making this video, you guys see me make such a horrible mess. But anyways, you guys, and I will clean all that up. And I usually add a little bit more to it, and bubbles up on top, because after it settles and it cools, it will shrink down into the bottle. So I try to tippy top it. And then I end up having to add a little bit more anyway, so that's why I didn't put it all in the bag. And for purposes of Amanda and her mommy, voila, we have our own little stash. Ooh, I knew I was going to do that. Why do I do that? I do not know, folks. Okay. Now, let me pause you. I'm going to get this cleaned up and I'll show you my labels. Okay, got everything cleaned up, and now I'm going to have this set out overnight so it will cool down. And I have another rubber band. Of course, I'm going to spray it because I just don't want anything get near there. And then I am going to put something that is breathable. You can use cheesecloth or whatnot. And I'm just going to take this and put it over there just to keep it in place so that it will cool down and nothing will get into my mixture. And that is what I'm going to do, is let it sit overnight. And then I will cut these and it will be with the pump. And I think with the black bottle, here's my labels. I think those are going to look very, very nice. And this one's for Amanda. And it hasn't changed color yet, but it will get like a light creamy tan. And that's the 8 ounce for her. So I'm going to leave the disc top open so that it can breathe and the air can get out, and no moisture put in there. We don't want the moisture in there. So that's what's going to happen for the night. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if there's anything that I can help you with, let me know. You can use your own formula. If you wanted to make, and I make my own hair conditioner, and I use the BTMs instead of the E-Wax. Perfect. It is beautiful. There is a secret. If you have, make your own conditioner for your hair, it's the same principle, and this is why I started making it when it just started coming out being popular. But I would take my hair conditioner, and after I took a shower, turned off the water, and I was still wet, I just take the conditioner and put it all over my body, and then I'd get out and just pat dry, and my skin, especially in the wintertime, is just so, so nice. So use your own formula, come up with what other ideas, but I hope this kind of gives you, some good old thinking juices for the brain, going in and making your own product. And I'll leave this in here for me. But any questions? Give me a holler. All right, guys, stay out of trouble. Love you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.